Another abortion facility just shut down. Victory! Hey everyone, I'm Kristen Hawkins. Welcome to this new episode of How to Win This Week on Explicitly Pro-Life podcast. After years, and I mean years, of grassroots efforts by local members of the pro-life movement in Florida, a Pensacola abortion facility called American Family Planning has officially had their license suspended via orders of the Agency of Health Care Administration in the state of Florida. The abortion facility was ordered to halt all operations Saturday, May 21st. This is significant. First of all, we got government bureaucrats to do something they didn't want to do. And I don't care if it's a Republican state, that's in itself a huge victory. And I'm speaking of somebody who used to be a government bureaucrat. Big credit goes out to our friends at Reprotection. Love Missy Stone at Reprotection. I've had her on the podcast a couple of times. As you all know, Missy is an alumni of Students for Life. I'm honored to be able to mentor Missy in her work. Reprotection actually is one of the award recipients for Students for Life's Accelerator program. So we were able to award this new startup organization with a grant this year. And so they could do this work to shut down abortion facilities. I love it. It's like pro-life teamwork. Yay! Also, Emerald Coast Coalition for Life, 40 Days for Life, and there's a whole host of other pro-life leaders there in Pensacola who have been working for decades to make their city abortion-free. This is a significant moment. I could not be more excited to see Pensacola now becoming abortion-free. It's unbelievable. If you all remember, a couple of weeks ago, I had Dr. William Lyle on my podcast, the Friday episode, the long one, and he's the pro-life doc. And he actually bought, the way he closed one abortion facility in Pensacola was he just bought them out and turned it into a pro-life practice. And so there you go. One practice was bought out and one has been shut down for dangerous, predatory conditions. And it's really interesting. What we've known for years is this abortionist there in Pensacola has been lying on transfer agreements. In the state of Florida, you have to have a transfer agreement when you have do a surgical abortion with a local hospital in case something goes wrong with the woman. And the abortionist didn't have any transfer agreements with any local hospitals because they didn't want to associate with a dirty abortionist. But he was lying on all of his paperwork. But it took a long time to get the state of Florida to act on this. So yay to the pro-life movement. But what I really want to talk about, and we can go into this further, but this is a significant point when we talk about a post-Roe v. Wade America, because we can be passing laws that restrict abortion, that protect women against the predatory abortion facilities and industry. But if we don't have public officials willing to enforce those laws, they're not going to hold a lot of weight. That is why, for example, a lot of folks have asked why Texas, in their heartbeat law that was, signed into effect and went into effect September 1st, why their heartbeat law has civil penalties attached to it, not criminal penalties, meaning the state doesn't really get involved if an abortionist commits an abortion after a child's heartbeat can be detected. There's no criminal penalties to be had. All it does is allow someone in the state to sue the abortionist. So a mother, a friend, a community member who found out that the abortion happened, a community member, anyone can sue the abortionist or those who participate in abortion, but not the mother. Why did Texas take this unusual route to protect women and children from the abortion industry? It's because elected officials within the state of Texas, district attorneys who had sworn to uphold the laws of the state, if someone breaks a law, they work with the police arrest them, and the district attorney presses charges, right? District attorneys of the state in some of the big cities like Houston, the biggest city there, said they would not prosecute any women, any abortionists, anything that the law would say that were involved in an abortion. They just basically said they weren't going to do what they were supposed to do and adhere to the laws of the state. The Department of Justice, Joe Biden's Department of Justice, actually even issued a memo after the heartbeat bill was passed, telling state officials not to be involved in it and just to ignore the law. I mean, this is This is unbelievable. And so this is a very important point of how do we work with legislators, how do we work with governors to enforce the actual laws of the state? Because you can pass all the laws you want, but if you don't have a governor who's willing to do the hard things, then you're really not going to get done what you need to get done. I also love the story. I think is so great because it shows, like I said earlier, pro-life teamwork. Students for Life alum Missy Stone working with one of my good friends, one of our former board members, David Bira, who started 40 Days for Life, found a hole in the pro-life movement of this area of enforcement, said, we're going to do the hard thing. We're going to fill that hole and launch this whole organization. And Students for Life is proud to partner with Reprotection because they do things we don't do and we do things they don't do. And we found a great way to work together. Us even, awarding Reprotection one of our accelerator grants this year to help them get their feet off the ground and get running. And they're working with us now through our Abortion-Free Cities project, researching other abortion facilities in all 22 of our abortion-free cities to figure out how we can shut down these abortion facilities faster than waiting for the state legislatures to do their job. This is significant. The other reason this is really important is because of its location there in Pensacola. I don't know if you've ever traveled through the Panhandle of Florida. It takes forever to get through, and I-10 is really boring. This is a location where women were coming from Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, even coming in for an abortion. Now you have a whole region of the country that's going to be abortion-free. Abortion-free. And this totally needed to be done. Since 2018, there have been 60 pages of medical deficiencies reported. In the last 3 months, 3 different hospitalizations of women have been brought to light in Pensacola because of this dirty abortion facility. In one of the cases, the patient, the mother, had to have her colon removed. That's how dangerous and shoddy of work this abortion was doing, killing children. It's unbelievable. Her colon had to be removed. In another case, the local EMS said that there were pools of blood on the floor, and the mother that they had come to rescue at the facility needed 10 pints of blood at the hospital just to be stabilized. Her pulse was so weak, it couldn't even be detected in her wrist. This is unbelievable. But what goes even further, when this happened, the abortion facility didn't want the EMS to come into the facility and carry out a woman on a gurney because that would look bad because pro-life prayer warriors would tell people about that. They made the woman's spouse, her husband, drive her to the hospital instead of going through to the EMS. It's unbelievable what's happening. And once again, this is an abortionist who's been operating legally in the state of Florida for decades. This is why we need more great work from our friends at Reprotection. This is why we have to force our pro-life elected officials to do the right thing. And I have to tell you, it was a lot harder than it should have been. I know everyone's like, yay, Governor DeSantis pro-life. He is very pro-life. But it was a lot harder than it should have been to get this abortion facility finally shut down. We had to make calls. Reprotection had to do calls. We did letters. I might have threatened some protests along the way. I don't know. We had to do a lot more work than we should have. And this is in a Republican state, a red state. So this is something that we all, as pro-lifers, we really need to be thinking about as we enter into this new post-Roe era, is how we're going to enforce our pro-life laws and hold our elected officials accountable to make sure they enforce the laws of the state.